Hi, I'm Hassaran. Today, we're going to talk about a very important topic for any business. Any guesses? Okay, so today's topic is customer satisfaction. Now, we all know that businesses exist because of its customers. But it's not just about having a customer base. Having them satisfied is very important too. So, to educate us on this particular topic, we have Mr. Ajmal Hussain, Assistant Manager, People Development and Service Culture Transformation, Dialog Axiata. Hi Ajmal.
Hi Hasara, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming, Ajmal. Now, how would you define or understand customer satisfaction? Now, and why that is important, especially in this contemporary business world?
All right, it's a very good question, something that I love to talk about, customer satisfaction and customer experience. What's the difference or what is it about? Well, both these are pretty much the same thing. Customer service and customer satisfaction is also another thing that we compare it with. It's something that has a positive correlation. If you have good customer care or good customer service, you'll have better customer satisfaction. Why is it important to a business? Because there's competition. Competition gives products of a different perspective, they give services of a different perspective, they give experience of a different perspective. Sometimes the competitive advantage is just service. Some of the organizations look at some of the airlines, for example, it's service that decides which airline I would pick. Not the product, not the features that are inside the airplane, but good service sometimes makes that decision of yes or no. Plus, organizations these days have focused a lot on customer service and customer satisfaction. They've brought in a lot of measures to see where it stands in the organization in multiple business wings. Say for example, like in Dialog, we have mobile, we have DTV, we have broadband, and we measure customer satisfaction in each of these angles. We also go into the depth of measuring customer satisfaction at our frontline stores, at our contact centers, and other communication channels like email, social media, because we need to know in which angle customers are satisfied or which avenue they're satisfied and which avenues they're not, then take actions to put all those right. So contemporary organizations these days are very worried about customer service. It's one of their prime objectives. They'll do anything they can to put it right, simply because customers have choice and suppliers don't. Customer can decide to buy from anywhere. The supplier does not have the choice to pick their customers. They can only do it by good advertising, and they can sustain the customer by fabulous customer service that will result in great customer experience. That's why it's important, I believe.
Right, you mentioned about customer service and there's a link between customer service and customer satisfaction. Let's talk a bit on that link, how this customer service has linked to customer satisfaction.
Absolutely, it's a very straightforward connection. You give him you give him better service. When he walks into your outlet, you treat him well, take good care of him, gets through to a contact center, he's given a warm welcome over the phone, he gets through to your social media pages, which are very interesting these days. They get through to WhatsApp for Business, for example, is becoming a trending thing. People are picking up WhatsApp for Business, so customers don't have to even call somebody. They can go into their native favorite messaging app, anybody out there, and contact a number that is given and have this customer service conversation with a bot or a human on the other side, a human agent, and still solve all their problems. Verification happens through WhatsApp. Information is shared through WhatsApp because on the other side is a human of that organization that you're getting service from who's giving you good feedback. So the relationship here is multifold. The connection between customer service and customer experience is very straightforward. Like I said, if you give strong customer service, the customer experience that you will find at the end is going to be good. On the other side, if you give poor customer service, you're going to have a negative effect on your customer experience and all the scores that you measure. What is worse is that a bad customer will go and on average go and tell about 15 other people of how bad his experience was, whereas only a customer with good customer service, good customer experience would on average tell only 4 other people. So this is what studies show us. If you give somebody bad service, they're going to tell the whole world about it. Easy to do now. They've got social media. Just go and type something there, post button, and the whole world sees it. So it's dangerous as well.
Now let's talk a bit about Dialog. What measures has Dialog taken to ensure that your customers are satisfied?
So the measures that we've taken, we've got quite a lot there. We've got our measures, our KPIs to track it. We've got customer satisfaction index. We've got the customer dissatisfaction index. We also have something called the NPS, which is Net Promoter Score. Plus, what do we do? Behind the screen, there's a lot of training that goes into the people who handle customers, even for people who don't handle customers. We nurture everybody in the organization to think from a customer service perspective, so that even if you're sitting at the back office doing the design for a bill, or at a technical center not getting in touch with the customer, everybody is nurtured to think from the customer's angle. Every single move that you make can impact maybe a few 100,000 customers out there. Maybe it's a bill, you moved a small item from a printed bill to one location to another, it impacts so many people who get the bill. So we train people on how to have customer service in their whole system. Plus we have this whole thing called service from my heart, which is a culture that we build inside. It's our number one value. To put it into perspective, service from my heart, what does it inculcate? It inculcates the fact that customers need to be treated well. Customer experience comes in front of anything else. It's about working as one team inside the organization, and also having quite a bit of interest and deep care about our internal customers. So it's a thing that covers the whole perspective. First, encourages having great service inside the organization, fabulous teamwork, so we create a beautiful synergy which allows us to take great service to our customers outside. These are a few that are there. These are the ones that are on ground. Plus, on top of that, Hasara, we have so many other processes and policies that govern our people on how to handle customers. So it brings in best practices, it shows customer behavior at different times. So we're very worried about, very concerned. We take seriously the market research that we get. So it tells us in comparison to the industry, in comparison to every other organization in the country, where we stand in terms of service. Something that we take seriously. Feedback from that is taken to include items into our annual plan of culture transformation. So overall, we are very worried about customer experience, customer service, and we would go and spend our last bit of penny to put that right.
Right. Now I'm going to ask you a very practical question. How can we identify or understand whether our customers are satisfied or not?
All right, Hasara, that is a tricky question, but a very contemporary one. It's needed in the industry these days. How do you know if your customer is happy or unhappy? How do you know if it's satisfied or unsatisfied? Well, initially, if you're the one who handled that customer, who was the last experience for the customer with your organization, his immediate response, his impulse response tells you how good the service was. Look at his eyes, look at the facial expression after you gave service. His whole response, the change in the mood after he obtained service from you will tell you if he's satisfied or not immediately. His emotion, well, that's the deeper part. The customer's emotion after every interaction with an organization will tell you a very deep story on if he is happy or not. Plus, the more formal ways is to get through to the customer through feedback surveys powered by SMS, email links, calls, getting the customer to respond and tell us how good the service was or how bad it was. It's one way that you can find out. Plus, if you're working for an organization, maybe for a startup or even a bigger organization, the impulse of the people in the country, now for example in Dialog, we have about 14 million subscribers, close to 14 million, so half of the country's population or a little more than that are customers. Every 2 people that you bump into in the country, 1 of them are going to be our customers. And when you do tell them that you're a part of this organization, any organization for that matter, the response that you get from the average customer out there who has no obligation, didn't obtain your service in a long time, or maybe he did, the response a customer of that caliber gives you will give you a ground level understanding of if the customers are satisfied or not. That's a larger picture, but if it's about an individual customer that you just had an interaction with a short while ago, his emotions are the best way to figure out if he's happy or not. Later on, the surveys and the formal part can kick in, but always we should be very conscious, open to a customer's emotion and what's running at the back of the mind, and have a self-evaluation of the service that you provided to see if you did good or if you didn't do that good.
Now, in a scenario where your customers can provide you with feedback, how should you be acting upon those received feedback?
Well, first up, getting customer feedback is a good thing to do. It's a very good thing because organizations all across the world are very focused on customer feedback. It's a very genuine chance to get a customer's opinion on the service that you give him, or maybe the whole organization at large. What should you do after you get feedback? That is way more crucial. Organizations have 2 options: turn a blind eye on the feedback, or act promptly, take it very seriously, include it into your plan, do something about it, make the customer feel that something is done about it, some sort of action is taken. That is key, that is essential. Taking customer feedback is a good thing. Getting customer feedback and not doing anything about it is a really, really bad thing. Customers who are at 50% happy with your organization probably will give you feedback, and if you don't do anything about the feedback, they'll go down to about 20%. Not all the time, this is a random stat I used, but it can bring customer satisfaction to a very low level. So taking feedback, yeah, thumbs up in doing that, but whatever you do, any feedback that comes in, you've got to take action, make some step to put that right if the feedback is about concerns. So feedback can be of two avenues: appreciations, so recognize it, inform the customer that something has happened about it. Customer sometimes can be grateful, feedback can be on a positive note, so that needs to be acknowledged. If it's on a negative note, then of course something needs to be done about it. Another important part about feedback is the closed looping. Customers do give you feedback, you take action about it, and then you let the customer know. This is where organizations sometimes go wrong. They get the feedback, they do something important about it, they've taken it very seriously, and they have failed to inform the customer. So it has to be a cycle. Get customer feedback, take action, implement, and then inform the customer that we've done something about the feedback that is given. It delights them, it will encourage them to give way more feedback, but if you fail to do that, it can give the impression to the customer that you got his feedback, did nothing about it. That's a very bad situation to be in. So feedback is great, getting feedback is great, but acting upon them and close looping, informing the customer what happened, or the person who gave you the feedback, letting them know what happened is very important.
Right. So earlier you talked about NPS, or Net Promoter Score. Right? Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So let's talk a bit about this concept and how it helps.
NPS, in other words, Net Promoter Score, is something organizations across the world use to find out how happy their customers are. There is industry-rated NPS across the world, so they have average NPS of customers across the world in each industry. For example, you have mobile, you have television, you have agriculture, you have retail. So all these industries across the world have a standard NPS, which means if you come close to that, or average NPS, I mean, if you come close to that, that means you're in par with the industry average. If you go above that, then you're better than the average worldwide industry. How do you track that? That's important. After every interaction with the organization, the customer is sent a feedback. Different organizations would adopt different methods to do it. Some could be via SMS, some could be via email link, some could be even via direct call. NPS is tracked through a 0 to 10 scale. 0 to 6, if customer rates you anything between 0 to 6, that's bad news. He's given you feedback that he's not very happy with the service. 7 or 8, customer is neutral. 9 or 10, which means your organization is good. You see, this scale is very brutal. 0 to 8 is like not good service. 9 and 10, only those are good service, which means NPS also says, certain studies about NPS says, if a customer rates you 9 or 10, it is also an indication that he might get onto his rooftop and sing good about your organization. So only customers who are really happy will give you 9 or 10. We are focused in pushing all our customers into the 9 and 10 scale. Easier said than done, I agree, but that's the objective. For now, we have about 50 to 60% of our customers in that 9 or 10 scale. The whole idea is to push it up to about 100. Is that 50 to 60 bad? No, we are way above the industry average in telecommunication of NPS. The global average for NPS in telco is less than what we achieve. So our NPS for now, is it good or bad? Yeah, it's good, but we certainly can improve. Organizations need to be vigilant on how they do it, with which customers they do it. You've got to do it with a customer who's had a recent interaction with the organization, maybe through a complaint, maybe through a customer interaction, customer service interaction, or maybe through an inquiry that he had. Regardless of what channel it is important to measure this. So we also have NPS that is tracked through separate channels, like maybe how much is our customer satisfaction when they contacted us through social media, how much is our customer satisfaction or NPS when they do contact us via our contact center, that is a phone call, how happy are they when they walk into a customer service store like the one we are in. Measuring in those angles will tell us where exactly the problem is, help us trigger processes to put that right, or approaches to put that right. Going in even deeper, we track our NPS, which is also based on business, so which will tell us which group of customers are the happiest the most. Because we've got a few business avenues like mobile, broadband, DTV, tracking NPS from that is also going to give us an indication customers of which of our businesses are very happy. So it's something that we deeply follow at Dialog. Not only in Dialog, it's something that most of the organizations across the world follow. NPS is a modern day prompt thing to figure out how good your organization is. The NPS is also another thing that will tell you is an indication of your future revenue. So if you've got higher NPS, that means people are going to tell other people of how good your service is, and they are going to come to your network and you're going to earn more money. But if you do not have a good NPS, it is also an indication of your future revenue. You will not get new customers, let that alone. You might even lose your existing customers. So NPS is a good one if you're worried about customer service, customer satisfaction, and how you can put it right. That's something that you've got to use right away.
Now, there are many employees from different organizations joining with us, watching this video series. Any advice for them?
So if it's a startup or maybe an experienced organization or anybody who's looking to learn something on customer service, customer experience, the most important thing I would like to tell everybody is that you've got to two things. You've got to give the customer what he wants. That's customer service, that's customer satisfaction at the end. Modern times have made it a little bit more challenging. The awareness the customers out there have, the rich knowledge about the industry that they have, the comparisons that they've done with competitors outside in maybe your local market or the market outside the world, outside your country, demonstrate a deep message. So customers are way more informative than ever before in today's world. So you've got to give them what they want. They already know what's available in the world, so there's no giving half measures or going half measure there. Give them 100%. What's become really important today is to give them that on time, at the speed that they want it. Customers these days, more than a discount, more than a freebie, they prefer to get something done immediately. The biggest benefit customers enjoy these days is getting something immediately, zero wait time. So don't make your customers wait. Give them what they need at the speed of what they want, and remember, they know what they can get, they know what's available in the world. So no half measures, you've got to go 100%. Give the customer what they want at their own speed. I think that's something that I would want to tell you if you want to give them some sort of advice.
So thank you, Ajmal, for coming here and talking to us today.
It was a pleasure talking to us, Sarah. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So let's meet again with another interesting discussion like this. Thank you.